Hello and welcome to Cultural Foolishness. This is episode 4 of season 2, the recap of 2024. I am Creed of Exit Studios, architectsofmars.com, and my co-host is.
Coach, Tamara Simone, your favorite life coach's favorite life coach. If you don't know, now you know, baby, baby.
See, and you got the biggie. Look at you. I see what you did. You lifted up so we could see the biggie. I was just listening to some biggie early. I was listening to Warning, banging it like it was a new
Like
song.
it just came out.
But that's how
Yes,
I'm gonna do it every time it come up.
show you right.
That's how it is. So, the subject, like I aforementioned, is the recap of 2024. And oh, so many things happened this year. This
I
was a very
know.
eventful year. We had a lot of crazy scandals. We lost some folks. We had some, excuse me, just crazy situations in general happen. Just this was another entertaining year in this very entertaining decade so far.
And damn it, we made it. And I would just like to go on record and say that everything that Cat Williams said in January came to light in a very real way.
He needs to
Just
be
a prophet
renamed
with it.
Cat Nostradamus Williams. That is gonna be his new name because he really set the tone with 2024 with who he called out, and lo and behold, the man got to him too. So a lot of them people that he named, they paid the piper this year. This was very um yeah, this is very
Yeah.
much a year where if you've been out here messing up, karma was like, guess what time it is? Pay up time. Cause yeah, it was real.
It was something for sure,
Hmm.
to say the very least. Where do we want to delve into?
Oh man.
Because I know it's so much to unpack.
It's so many
Um,
things. Well, we can talk about we could start with some music from 2024. We'll start on a positive note. With the beginning of the year, which was the Grammys, and your boy and my boy Killer Mike went real hard. Took
Killer Mike did his big one,
his album. That album was great. That was a great album.
and so the thing is, a lot of people was like shocked that he won, and a lot of people was like, oh, like name five Killer Mikes, like throwing shade. And me personally, when I saw that he won, I was like, well, let me go listen, because for him to win 3 Grammys and he wasn't the biggest artist in that category, that means that he put out a very good body of work and did. And it ended up being one of my top listens on my Apple Music for 2024.
Well, oh, that's dope. Well, I'll say this, and this kind of goes for music and movies as far as like the award system has kind of evolved over the years. Like, people got to realize the people that's choosing things now are people that's our age. It's not like a whole bunch of old people that a lot of them people retired. So I could tell the shift probably started maybe 5 or 6 years ago when certain albums was winning the Grammys and certain movies was winning at the Oscars. And I was
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like, I definitely made that face like, wait a minute, I think it's people that's in my wheelhouse is starting to be the choosers and the deciders, because now this is starting to make a little bit more sense to me, because before it was a bunch of tone deaf people that didn't even really have a connection to the culture anymore that was making choices, and a lot of them people are out now.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I'll say also, and it's interesting because like Killer Mike, you could consider I consider him conscious. Like he's conscious for sure. Um, but then like if we want to go skip to the other side of that, that glow really go hard.
Yeah.
That glow, like I had kind of stepped out of that a little bit of that ratchet vibe, but my new marital status and whatnot. But she pulled me right back in. I'll be singing TGIF like I am single and ready to mingle, and be sitting right next to my husband, close, close. So
Yeah, that's definitely one of the top joints of the year. While we on the subject of female MCs, we gotta give Doechii her props because
she is coming in swinging at
uh
the fourth quarter.
yeah, well
I'm
she's been
saying like
out
she's
for
getting
a
she
while
right, but she's
and
getting she's
right, a
getting a
lot
lot
of
of
people
traction right
wasn't
now,
aware and myself included, I wasn't even
myself
aware.
included.
So I personally, we if you follow Culture Foolishness, we've talked about rap a lot, hip hop a lot, female MCs versus male MCs, and content and all these different things. And one thing about her, I literally don't have anything really negative to say about her from a standpoint of this is what I've been asking for. I want a person that is multidimensional, multifaceted, giving you different subject matter. Like one thing that always frustrated me about um women rappers, the subject matter was very sexual. It is always geared towards that. It wasn't given a lot of depth. It wasn't even given like I say this, and this is just a compare genres like well R&B, right? I think that men have gotten so much insight on the way women think and feel through the poetry of R&B music, listening to female artists. And we could almost like it's been songs that a woman have called out male behavior that we may not even recognize as direct because we're doing it and it just hit different. So on the flip side, I want that from a female rapper, just like a male rapper to give me some introspective stuff. Not to say that every male rapper is conscious and whatever. It just felt
There's just more
like
variety.
it is more variety in males than with women rappers, and it's starting to finally change to where you're starting to get it on both sides, and that's what I want to see. Sexy Red can exist. I don't have to listen to her. It's not a problem. The issue is don't put her in the forefront like that's representing what hip hop is when you got somebody that really give you the full spectrum because she giving you lyrics, she giving you comedy and its cleverness, creativity with the visuals and the way she structures her songs. Like everything that I would ask a male rapper to do, she's giving me all of that and more. So kudos to her. Probably talked about it too long, but she's dope.
Just a
And
smidge, but
but
I'll let you rock.
we
Um,
love, we love it. We love it.
so yeah, and you know what I'll say, I just, was just kind of looking through my playlist, and I ain't gonna hold you. I'm slow to download music, even though
Mm.
like I pay for the subscription because I'm just like, I don't want some BS popping up in my shuffle. Like I don't need that. And one thing I'm a little disappointed in is that R&B just did not understand the assignment this
Mm.
year. Like now, SZA dropped a deluxe version of SOS.
Okay.
It's
Which
cool.
actually got a couple bangers on. I was just
Yeah,
listening to it earlier.
I was listening to it like it's not bad, but like it's just not getting. I mean, like Coco Jones been doing her thing. Like Money Long dropped the project that I actually really like. Mario just dropped the project. I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet, but it's just not giving.
Yeah.
It's just on the R&B. I'm an R&B head and I'm listening to more hip hop, and I don't like that for me. Like, and if I'm listening to R&B, I'm listening to 2000s
Yeah.
and 90s R&B because that's
Um,
just
Tim's album
classic.
was really good. She had a good album that gives the good R&B neo soul type of vibes
Okay.
and feel. So maybe, check
All
her
right.
joint out if you haven't. But
I know and the men just
that's
them niggas been sleep. Like men in R&B just have not been through.
the only person that was really holding it down, especially as an up and coming person, probably October London. Like
Yes.
he really
He really,
came
yes, yes.
strong, giving you the old school vibe with a new school twist. Like he definitely came strong. Trying to think. It's really, you
It's
right. It's not a
it's
lot of singers
because
that
like
really
Usher's
represented
just
that tough
touring,
this year.
but
Yeah.
he's not like
Making
he's
new
touring,
music. Yeah.
right? And I mean, like Tank didn't drop anything this year, but Tank drops consistently. So take time off. Like you're fine.
Hmm.
But other than that, it's just not been a lot on the R&B side, especially with the men. The women have definitely been kind of doing their thing, but just I need a little bit more of that in 2025.
Yeah. This year was definitely a resurgence of hip hop taking a center stage in terms of the conversation. Because obviously, we got to segue into this. Drake and Kendrick.
Which is one of the hottest topics of the year.
Of the year, because I
Like
mean
it or
this
not,
really
like
was
it or
the
not,
whole year just about, because this started back in
like
the
the second half.
spring.
Well, I thought it started like in June.
No, because didn't the Future and
Oh
Metro
yeah,
Boomin
because
album come out in the springtime?
okay, so yes, that
Because that was like the kickoff kind of to start the murmurs, and then after that it just went in full swing in the
yeah,
summertime,
the
and Drake can barely go
Drake getting
outside.
getting
This is
jumped definitely started in the spring. The
yes.
him getting
Because
jumps, yes.
everybody came after that joint with on the Metro Boomin Future album, and everybody was like, "Well, I hate this nigga too." I'm like, "Well,
Why
didn't
you
y'all
make so
make a
many?
bunch of money with him? Like, why are you
Why
talking?"
why you kept featuring him on your stuff if you hate him so bad? But who am I? I don't know. Whatever. Some of your hottest shit is with him, and you going
Yeah,
crazy.
but I always go back to this. Just even I'm sure I said it in another episode. We really talked about it in depth. We on the outside looking in. They know him personally. They have interactions with him personally. So whatever he had, because at this point, for 10 people to come after you at the same time, somebody they mad rightfully at this. Like, I don't know.
He got one of
like
them good old CVS ass whoopings.
like
Alumni know what I'm talking about.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah, yeah,
indeed.
Chicago school,
Chicago,
South
stand
Side.
up.
Yeah, but
Yes, indeed. He got a good old fashioned ass whooping.
he,
Just
like, I mean,
as the
between
infamous
Kent,
Kane, as the infamous Kanan once said, whatever they say he did
he
that
did that
shit.
shit. Because, like, damn, because people coming to him, too many people came out the woodworks when Kendrick came for him. And it's like,
And
I
a lot of people
also
that's
don't
supposed to
respect
go
it
ahead.
too. I don't
I
respect
don't
that
respect it
fully,
either.
because it's like, if you got beef with him, why you waiting till this person say something? If you get sad, problem, say something then. But
That
it's like the gang mentality.
yeah, yeah. So like that I don't respect and I take issue with. However, I am looking at the fact that people who are supposed to be in his corner are kind of not. Like they not necessarily just outright against him, but they ain't advocating for him either, which speaks volumes.
Oh, volumes. And that's what brings me back to what I was saying before, where it's like, maybe he was doing the shit everybody's saying they did. Because, like, it's just like, okay, perfect example. And it's a perfect segue, because I don't want to dwell on this topic too much. Diddy, when everything starts, surfacing about him, nobody was coming to his defense. Nobody. Everybody knew 9 times. They was like, "Yeah, whatever this
The
nigga
only
did shit, he
people who
did
stood
that
up,
shit."
right? The only people who stood up for him was his kids, and they ain't stand
Yeah,
up to say my daddy ain't do it. They
they
stood up
just
and
like, I
said I
love
still
my
love my
daddy
daddy.
in spite of.
Right. I love him with no limits, unconditional love, which is beautiful, but like no one like
No friend, and people are
people
trying to distance themselves from him, if
people
anything.
came to the defense of Bill Cosby.
Yes,
People even came to the defense of R. Kelly
true.
from
Which,
the standpoint of if he did X, Y, and Z, then why is he the only one getting in trouble for it?
mm-hmm.
So that speaks volumes that in these situations where you're accused of something or where something is going a certain way and you don't have any type of support system or you don't have anyone debunking it to say like no like that speaks volumes. So to be continued for 2025 because
because this is not over. This is
oh of
like the tip
course
of the
like
iceberg.
the diddlers is
Obviously,
still in jail, baby bottles of baby oil everywhere, like who knew, like it was just crazy times, like it was wild wild west out here
it's
this
just
year.
slipping on the ground.
Dildos,
Whoa, whoa,
my god,
whoa!
like
Slipping. But the part two to that was, they brought Jigga into it, which when he first was accused, the funny thing is everybody kind of had this mentality like, well, they gonna about what they gonna bring up about Jay-Z. Like everybody was saying that before anything even came up about
oh
this
for
person.
sure,
They was
for
like, well, I
sure.
know Jay-Z did something. So this come out, and the first, of course, is super damning. Somebody's accusing him. It's a very, and at the time, this person was very young, all of this shit. But, excuse me, people have already debunked certain aspects of that person's story, even the father
Several.
of the victim, which he was supposedly was the one who came and picked her up, driving 5 hours from New York to upstate New York, whatever. But this the thing. I don't know about you, but anywhere that I've driven more than an hour, I'm gonna remember it probably damn near forever, especially it was something connected to some crazy shit like that. So you got a 5 hour drive and picking somebody up that was supposedly great. You can't, like, what?
Oh, I mean, it's beyond that. It was she claimed to have had a conversation with I think it was a group or something like that. I can't remember the name of it, but they went and actually saw that they were performing in the Midwest at the time and they weren't even at the party. There was also where she mentioned that she was watching I guess she was watching the VMAs on the Jumbotron or something like that. And then they found out that that year they didn't have a Jumbotron. So like it's a lot that is going into that, and again, more to come. The only thing, the literal, because ever since it came out, I've been like innocent to proven guilty, and this is not. Oh, I'm just such a whole fan, so I can't stand it. It's not that at all. It's that one, we have to get out of this thing to where someone says something about someone and we automatically assume it's true because
Mm-hmm.
that is just not the way that you live life.
No.
Like
Because you wouldn't
it,
want that to be for you.
right? Because if it's you, then
Everybody,
you're gonna be
right.
like, right. So
But I
it's
didn't really
definitely
do it. How you
no,
know? Same for them.
right. So it's definitely that. But and then too, the more we found out about it, the less sense it made. So I was very much so like not really believing it. The only thing, and I mean literally the only thing that made me slightly side eye Hove is when his lawyer said that him and Diddy wasn't friends.
That
But
was crazy. But
that
I know what he's trying to do, but that's still crazy.
but then it brought up kind of a debate when I was listening to the Breakfast Club because it was like, do we know that they were friends? Like, okay, we saw them take a bunch of pictures together. We don't know anything about like is
That's like
Beyonce
taking pictures with people that work with you because they're in the same
right?
industry. Yeah.
So it's almost like okay, so we saw them take pictures together. You know what I'm saying? He shot it out. Rock on 444, and okay, they kick it at the Rock Nation brunch. Do that make you friends though? Like like so like I it definitely but I'm still like, hey, y'all got a lot of pictures together, bro. Like y'all could do like a little collage photo album. It'd be beautiful. Like
A
like
lot.
like a lot though. Like, man, but I'm also like, well, I mean, like Blue don't be kicking it with none of Diddy's kids. So like how much friends can you like?
Right. That's true. I mean, I feel like being realistic, it was like a work associate type relationship. Obviously, if things aligned work wise where they could work together, because I know Diddy was the one who gave Jay a lot of the samples for American Gangster, because that was shit that he had a lot of, some of them beats was already produced off of some of them samples, like, but that's work. That's still work, and he made money off of that at the end of the day, even though it's like that's the
Like, was
homie.
Beyonce cool with Kim Porter?
Hmm.
Like like Hov and Ye were friends.
Yes.
No, that's a very obvious thing.
Hmm.
This is like
Cause they never real. It's, you could almost argue that Diddy and Nas would be more closer friends than Jay and Diddy, because they never like collaborated on songs like that or whatever. But they were New York dudes. They was in the same circles. You're pretty sure they probably hung out at certain points. But how deep is that? Because it's a lot of people that I ran with in Chicago would see at parties, but they never came to my house before. That's when somebody your friend for real. So yeah, I mean it's very
like
speculative.
and the thing too, like I kind of, because one, it kind of goes to the lesson of be careful who you call your friend, and Hove just don't
Mhm.
come across someone who as someone who calls everybody his friend. And I mean, look, if you listen to the Carter's album, you know who his friends are. Look, it's Tata and them. Like you, he talks about his friends.
Hmm.
So
You ain't
like,
never saying nothing about no Sean Combs being no inner circle type friend.
Blue ain't even kicking it with the kids. So
I mean, they too old for them,
not
but
all of them. What you
still.
mean? Diddy got a kid for every age group. Like, what do you mean? Like, what do you? Oh,
There
oh.
you go. You ain't wrong. You're not wrong.
Shoot, he got the little baby that can play with the twins. But anywho, moving on from that. What else? Um,
Well, I mean, to stay in the foolish moments of 2024, I mean, we can't really leave this subject without talking about the election and
I was
all.
just going there. Yeah, I was just going there. I mean, look, it was an election year. It started out with Donald Duck and Sleepy Joe, and then it ended with Donald Duck still and I'm not gonna be petty. VP Harris,
Mhm.
who is sometimes a black woman. That's kind of where it was. And
Mhm.
Donald Duck took it. I don't know if any other president has done this.
It happened once before. I believe it was like in the 40s, or I forgot the president name, but it was a president that was lost their second term
Term.
attempt, but then won it coming back. So they had a gap in between their two terms. So it's
Okay.
happened once before. This is not the, because I feel like if it was the first time happened, they would have said it over and over again. It was the first time
Oh
happened,
yeah,
but
yeah, yeah,
it
yeah,
wasn't.
yeah. No,
It wasn't.
absolutely. So yeah, that
And it
makes sense.
wasn't. It definitely wasn't. I just feel like because both candidates were weak, it was very hard for a lot of Americans to make a decision that they felt that was going to benefit them either way. And that's what I feel really made it go towards Trump, because he relied on theatrics and the little one-liners and all type of
Assassination
things that
attempts.
that bullshit. Cause I'm sorry, that's still look fake as hell to me. I don't care. Trump supporters, please, if you want to comment on this video, if you see this part, come for me. That was the fakest shit I've ever seen in my life, and I'm standing
Many
on it.
men,
I super don't care.
many, many, many,
Nope,
many
nope.
men
So,
wish death upon me. Oh,
so, definitely, was a lot of external things that help. And then, too, on the side of the Democrats, they're not helping themselves because you in control. Not a lot of shit has really happened positive for people to even,
well, you keep
point
sending
to.
money overseas while
And
people here are struggling. You keep bringing migrants into the country
mm-hmm.
and giving them benefits that us as Americans are not getting, and then saying that if we don't vote for you, then we're not black or we're not American or
And
we're
see
not
this,
whatever.
and this is the thing that I feel like gets lost if the government wasn't diverting so much funds, and this isn't even towards the migrants, because the money they spend on that type of shit is a drop in the bucket compared to what the real money go to, which is funding the many endeavors of meddling into other countries' business all throughout the world, giving money to Israel to murder babies and stuff, which is insane to me. Like the hostages that the forgot what their name was, the Hamas, the hostages that they have let go, tell them they not even treating them super bad. Meanwhile, they murdering the whole country of people because they really just want that country. That's the whole point. And that's the whole another conversation. But that's a part of this the whole foolishness of 2024. Because that, to me, the support that goes into that, a lot you could do things for migrants here. You could do stuff for people that's currently here. And I feel like if you were helping the people that was here, we wouldn't even be tripping on the migrants as much, because if you really look at it from a standpoint of how this country was built after the fact, where it was a lot of immigration and different elements that helped create the fabric of America. And the bigger issue with that is we created the problems in these countries to make them need to leave. Like we destabilized their governments and put people that were doing things in the interest of our government for us to get resources or whatever the fact, but they were screwing over the people in their country, causing them to not be able to make money, not be able to take care of their families to where they're leaving a tropical environment to go to Chicago and New York and all these cold ass places. Because as soon as you get to Texas, they just like, we not fucking with y'all, period. You going somewhere else. Because Texas don't play that shit. And
Shout out
obviously,
to
you know
Texas.
that from
Shout out to
living
Texas.
there. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean,
yes, indeed.
yes, that's good, but it's good for y'all, but the bigger problem isn't getting solved because we shouldn't be meddling with people. That's why we getting refugees from other countries, or sometimes it's not things that's directly us. Sometimes it's a war somewhere and they want to go here because this is safe and whatever. And then the countries in Europe, some of them are not letting certain people in and all these different things. So it's just messy. The whole thing is messy. It's beyond messy.
And the reason I kind of applaud Texas is because you just said it's countries in Europe that don't let people in. Why is it just like, oh, just anyone come? However, illegal, legal, whatever. Just show up. That's what I take issue with.
I get it. I totally get it because I also,
Because
from a
because
certain
if
standpoint, don't agree with the way it's happening either. But the circumstances that are created, that a lot of the circumstances are domino effects from things we have done as
okay,
a country, that sucks,
it's still
So,
hypocritical because let me give you this example. Okay, the domino effect of systemic racism and all of that leaves a lot of black people in a space of economic deprivation. And so if I'm a child that is in a single family home because the father can't live in a home because my mother's on welfare, but the welfare isn't enough and I'm starving, I can't go and steal food. Like if I get caught stealing food, I'm
you
doing
still
it
gonna
to
be
survive.
punished, right?
I'm
But you still gonna get
it's
punished.
still illegal.
Yeah, yeah,
So it's you can't say, well, you have to do that. You have to find a way to feed yourself the legal way, but this can be done illegally. And they're both justification. Like it's both the source of a bigger problem why it's even happening, but one is okay and one isn't,
yeah.
and they're both survival mechanisms.
It's just so many contradictions in society as a whole that we could talk till we blue in the face about. It's just
And we're not, because this is a
unfortunate.
recap.
Right. It's just unfortunate that the situation that's going on with the people, because I'm a sympathetic person too. I'm not just gonna totally be like, well, fuck some other human beings, even though they're human with us, even though they're from somewhere else and all this stuff. I don't want anybody to be in peril. But then at the same time, this is the other problem, which I hate that ugh, shit that Trump was saying was true in the sense of, while yes, there are many mothers with kids and people that are in dire straits that need to leave because their whole way of life then been damaged by certain things that happen. It's criminals and all type of fuck people that's sneaking in with them, and they're doing shit here, and it's already been documented of it happening. So this isn't fear mongering. This is logical, seeing the result of certain things happening. I'm never gonna just pull some shit out my ass to just throw people under the bus, but it's shit that didn't happen in Chicago with these people attacking people and robbing people and all these different things, because the people that mixed in with the people who really needed help was on some bullshit too. It was on some bullshit people with them, and that always happened because that's humans.
So moving on as we are recapping
Hmm.
2024. Um, since we're already heading into somewhat of a downward note, do we want to give some RIP shout outs to some of the people that we have lost this
Yeah, it
year?
was so many,
That
man. It was
look,
a lot. It was a lot.
Donald Duck came back in office and these niggas said, you know what? I'ma head out.
I'm gonna head out. I'm
And
cool.
this happened in 26. I feel like we lost like a substantial number of
Of
very like
just substantial, like Prince died in 2016, like a
they
bunch
just
of
like I'm good.
huge
I'm
people.
so good. Yeah.
It was like,
So
I don't even want to be here for this mess.
yeah, so just recently Nikki Giovanni passed away, so RIP to
Yeah,
her.
yes indeed.
We lost Quincy Jones, the legend, the icon.
Oh man,
RIP to him. Let's see who else. Tito.
Tito Jackson.
RIP Tito Jackson. We lost James Earl Jones, or
Yeah,
as affectionately black people call him, the voice of God. We just
man.
feel we just feel like God sounds like that.
I
Um,
mean, it's close. If it ain't that, it's close.
it's man. Um, RIP to Richard Simmons. Um, let's
Which,
see.
sidebar, he died, I think, the same week or day of the Trump fake assassination attempt BS. So we gotta really give him his props because a lot of people didn't even realize he died because we was caught up into that foolishness.
Yes, so RIP to Richard Simmons. We lost Willie Mays, RIP to
Mm,
Willie Mays, Jerry West, RIP
man,
to
Laker
him.
legend.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. OJ, we lost
The, the
OJ. Y'all
the
can say whatever the
juice
hell y'all want,
the
but
juice
we
is loose now. He is loose.
juicy.
You can't hold him now. He loose. He
Juice
in the
indeed.
universe.
Yes, he is. Carl Weathers,
Mm,
R.I.P. to Carl Weathers. Um,
Creed, Apollo Creed.
man, and so many more. I don't want to keep just you know
Yeah, I mean,
doing
there's a
that,
lot
but
of people. There's a
it's a
lot of
lot.
people.
It's you know
There's a
it's
lot of
people I
people
that we just
impactful.
yeah
I just want to talk about Quincy Jones for a second because, man, like talk about somebody that shaped my whole shoot. I can't even just say childhood, just childhood into adult life, just as far as the sound of it's so many songs and so many things that I didn't even realize that he was a part of until years and years later. Like the theme song to Austin Powers is a jazz song that Quincy Jones made. The theme song to Sanford and Son is by Quincy Jones. Like just iconic stuff that is like daily things. It's not even like stuff that I mean, if you watch reruns, you're gonna hear Quincy Jones all the time, just on certain shows. He did scores of so many shows, like super impactful. I mean, just from what he was able to do with Michael Jackson, like, are you kidding? Like, cultural shift of the way music is even heard, just
yeah
super important.
yes. On a brighter note, one person that we are grateful that we did not lose is Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx put out a very dope special. I would have said comedy special, but it actually was just I would say a variety special in the sense of it
Yeah,
just really showed everything that he can do. It just, I mean, as he did stuff from his movies, he did a little comedy, he did some singing, he brought his daughter on and did a song with her. Like it was so moving
and he low
because
key
it
preached a
just
sermon.
man, and it was just so moving and inspirational to see somebody go through what he went through and be able to like share that with us the way he did. So shout outs to Jamie Foxx, like
Yes, it was.
super
I was
legendary.
this close to shedding a tear because
I
it was
definitely
very.
shed a thug tear or two.
It was just very just like when you're in a situation to where you're like, man, like I don't like he had to learn how to walk again, and it's like, oh, I don't, I want to be able to walk my daughter down the aisle, and then it shows him walking his daughter down the aisle. Just
Right. Sick.
Jamie, you look. I don't believe you a clone. Now I do think you look a little different from how you looked on the Jamie Foxx show, but I'ma just let that live because all y'all look different because it was like 25 years ago.
Right.
But
Yeah, he just didn't
I
want to lose his hair. He just made some
oh
trips
I
to
ain't talking about that. I'm
Turkey
talking
a
about the
couple
freckles.
times.
No,
Yeah.
I'm talking about the freckles because when he get freckles,
Well, I think that's just an aging thing sometimes, weirdly. Because I
I
got a
suppose
couple. Trust me, I got freckles on my nose that I didn't have probably 10, 15 years ago. So aging is weird.
I guess.
It is, trust.
I mean,
It's
look,
because
I'm
you ain't
getting
going
old
through it.
too. Excuse you?
No,
We're not going to
and
talk about some of the
these.
age related things that I have
Oh,
going.
I'm sure you do, but I'm saying you're not going through that particular thing. So that does happen, you know.
I got freckles now that I didn't have before,
Okay,
but
well,
but no, but it's still like I have more freckles now,
okay.
like a little bit more, but again. He just looks strange to me, but I don't believe he a clone.
Nah, I
Like
don't even
I
think
never,
that
but that was
technology is
funny.
possible.
That
That
was
is funny
hilarious.
though.
I mean, he did do the movie They Clone Tyrone, so it's like, were you trying to tell us
That
something, my
movie
guy?
was good as hell, low key. That was a good ass movie.
Yes,
I,
indeed.
I like when black people get to make crazy, artistic, weird movies because we don't get to, and our point of view is very unique in terms of what Hollywood has been, allowed us to show. So I really like that that movie got made because 10, 20 years ago, they would not have gave nobody money to make no damn. They cloned Tyrone, and that's the name of it. Hell no. So kudos to
Um,
the 21st century.
I do want to, before we head on out, I do want to just kind of get some honorable mentions for like some movies and TV shows. Movies are escaping me right now, but we got to shout out Cross on Amazon
Oh
Prime. That was a
yeah, Cross
phenomenal
was
show.
dope. Cross was dope. I believe just for the comic book nerds and stuff, I feel like the second season of Invincible came out this year and that was awesome. That was super good.
I got to catch up on that because we
Yeah,
watched the
because you
first
did
season.
watch the first season. I know I
I
had,
did.
because, and this is just to speak to this for a second. Like that show was so good. I had suggested it to my sister who do not really mess with stuff like that. And she even liked the first season
I
because
did.
it was just written good. It was written, I mean,
If
write
it's
some
good, it's
shit
good.
good and, have the shit, the way it's supposed to go, man. Good is
Yes,
good.
so
So
Cross,
check out the second season.
Invincible. There's a show called The
Penguin.
Madness. Okay, go
Oh,
ahead.
Penguin was awesome. Oh my God. Like, yo, what it's all done now. You and Sean need to watch that. It's for real. And all the viewers, if you haven't
Oh,
watched it. Very good.
um, The Madness was dope. If you haven't seen
Now,
that, that
what
was
was that one? I don't think I saw that joint.
I don't know if you had, but basically that was the one where it was like a CNN reporter, black guy. He
Mm-hmm.
gets like he like went away to like work on like a book that he's writing, and then
Mm-hmm.
like the guy that was like staying in a cabin next to him got murked, and he kind of became the fall guy. So he
Oh.
spends the whole series trying to clear his name, and the more
Oh.
he tries, the deeper he gets into it. And it's not because it was intentionally like they planned for it to be him all along. He just so happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. So
Huh.
that was a good one. Reasonable Doubt season 3 came on this year. That was great.
I need to watch
Um,
that. You've been on me to
I have
watch
been
that
telling, I'm sorry,
show.
not season 3, season 2. That came on. That was awesome. It was another one. It was another one that was on the tip of my tongue. We have Reasonable Doubt. It was another show. Oh, for my Bridgerton people, I think Bridgerton came on this year. In fact, it did come on this year. Season 3
You
came on
watch
this year.
Bridgerton?
I do watch Bridgerton, and and sometimes when I'm watching it, I'm sipping tea.
You put your pinky up. You
Oh, I do that regardless. I
gotta
do that
put your pinky
regardless.
up. And that's
Yes,
the
whether I'm
player
sipping
shit.
tea or wine or whatever, I do.
Pinkies
Queen
up.
Charlotte, all of it. I am in it.
Okay.
So that's a few of the things that I could just think of just off the rip. I'm struggling for movies right now.
Well, for me, one of the big movies that I like this year, and I'm not typically a fan of this genre, but the new Alien movie, I think it was Alien, is it Requiem? I think that's
Hmm.
what it was. Let me Google it because we're gonna get this right while we're on the air. But the new Alien movie was really, really, really good. Like I was thoroughly impressed by that movie. I was very.
Oh, I'm tripping. Bad Boys 4 came out this year. That
Oh
was
yeah.
so good. That was like for that to be the fourth joint, like
Oh,
that was
Alien Romulus. That was the name of the Alien movie, and it was super good. Very good. Added to the mythos, all that. But no, it's funny. I haven't even seen the Bad Boys 4 yet. I still haven't seen it. I'm gonna watch
do
it. So
yourself a favor.
The
Be good
all
to
the
yourself.
Bad Boys movies have pretty much been good. I have to give that
Hmm.
franchise props. Like they don't make a movie until they got a story that makes sense to do a movie.
Will Smith is very intentional with regard to protecting that franchise,
Hmm.
especially.
Hmm.
And so he's very like that's why it took so long between two and three
Right.
because he was like, I don't like these scripts, and if until you give me something that I like, then I'm not going to participate in it,
Right.
which I can
And
appreciate.
and three had a good script, and it gave them leeway to do another one because of the way they set it up. So that's probably why he liked the script of three. So it makes
Hmm.
sense. It makes sense. Um, yeah, and honestly, to the people who listening and viewing, sure there's a ton of movies out this year that you guys dug. I just wasn't really watching a lot of movies this year. And I was watching a lot of old movies. I live in LA and we have a lot of theaters that play like vintage old movies and I was kind of going back and enjoying nostalgic moments with movies this year, if I'm being honest. I was more so consuming new TV products more so like
Hmm.
Power was good this year. Obviously, we did the recap earlier, how,
And
you know,
BMF was BMF. You know what? Shout out to the fact that Big Meech got released and
yes,
good
yes,
old Sleepy Joe, before he headed out, he went ahead and pardoned Southside T.
which
So
is
good for him.
crazy to me. I'm like, he must have been, you know what? And this is gonna sound funny, but I feel like just based on the randomness of him just parting him out of nowhere, he was watching BMF, man. He was watching it. He had to be because the way T is on the show, if you had the power to get him out of jail, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah. But I mean, look, I'm different because I'm look,
But but I'm
I'm
saying
like,
if
get
you
Larry
watch
Hoover
the
out.
show,
Free Larry Hoover.
well, Larry Hoover was a problem. That's why they gonna leave him in there. Them niggas ain't gonna do nothing
Free
but go
Larry Hoover.
home and ain't do nothing. But
Free Larry Hoover.
dig up money they done buried and be rich niggas somewhere. But they ain't gonna be a
Free Larry
problem.
Hoover.
That's why.
Inside Out 2 was a good movie too for the Disney people.
Now that Inside Out is the one with the emotions and all of that. So did you see the
Anxiety,
first
and
one?
I did.
So I've not seen either one, which is a travesty because I went to school for 3D animation and was like my minor, so I really should have seen it. And
It
you
is.
are not the first person that told me how good that was, so I think I might
It
watch it.
it was just a lot of grown people who was like watching it, and like even though they had kids, they was like, yeah,
They were
like
talking to me.
well, like someone I know, I won't put them out there, but they was like, yeah, I went to see Inside Out 2 without my daughter, and I was like, oh, okay, but they was like, no, she saw it, but I didn't want to miss it because I didn't see it with her. I'm like, oh, okay,
Yeah. I mean,
okay.
no, that's what I've been hearing. Like grown people that don't even have kids that saw it, that love it.
I
So,
definitely watch. I was,
so yeah.
um,
So yeah, that's one. Yeah, I think that's it for me. I mean, it wasn't a ton of movies. Now, TV, like you said, Cross was awesome. It's this
Bel Air, duh,
oh,
Bel
Bel
Air.
Air was dope this year for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely like the different story threads they hit on there. So it's been some really strong entertainment for 2024 for sure. Distract us from all the fuckery and foolishness that's going on out in the world. They definitely gotta pacify us with some good TV.
Yeah, and for anyone that cares about low budget Christmas movies, oh, they doing a big one this year. The low budget Christmas movies is out this year. Oh, they doing a big one. That's that they doing a big one this year. They
Talk
are.
about it. Name some, cause
Um,
I can't talk about that. That's all.
so they did a Brewster's Millions Christmas like remake. So that was really good. They did a
What's
movie
that
called
on? What channel was that on?
that is on BT Plus.
Okay.
So yeah, so they did that one. That was very good. I enjoyed that one. Let's see what else they did. It's a movie called The Day Before Christmas with what's my boy name? Mac Wild. I like Mac
Hmm.
Wild. He's a good actor.
Hmm.
They did a movie Style Me for Christmas with Mario. And shouts out to Mario because he actually, I think he like worked out a deal to where they filmed it through his production company. So, see, he ever since that verses, he's been on a different wave.
Good
And
for him. Good for
even
him.
though I love Omarion, then you gotta hold that L, my guy.
Yeah,
Um, yeah.
Mario could sing. I would like for him to get in because this is the thing people forget. He came out so young. He's not old. He
No, he's
really
not.
in
He's
like
my age.
he's in the pocket of really like he could be that R&B dude for real if he really positioned it because the voice is there and the look is there. That's been there. Now he got the maturity to go with it.
So he was on The Masked Singer. And I believe so. Yes, he was on, and people were speculating it because he has such a distinct voice that you know
Mm-hmm.
it immediately. So
Mm-hmm.
he was the Wasp on The Masked
Mm-hmm.
Singer. He came in second place only to I think it was like a group of buffaloes that were boys to men. So okay.
Right.
And I saw Boys to Men in concert this year. So shout out to Boys to
Hey,
Men.
you saw some good shows this year. You
I
did.
I I saw The Roots,
Yep. Maxwell.
Maxwell, Jasmine Sullivan, October London, um, and Boys to Men and Robin Thicke. Yeah, I saw a few shows. Yeah, I did that right for myself. Yes,
Yeah. I
yeah.
didn't go to a ton of shows this year, but I did see the 10th anniversary of the Pinata album, Freddie Gibbs, which is huge for us Midwest people, especially like my homeboy brother is actually on that album. Suleiman, Muhammad's brother. So
Mm.
that was huge, just being able to check that out. I was hoping so bad that he was gonna come out and do the song with him that they got, but he doesn't live here. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. But shoot, what else we got? So going forward, we got some
Yeah, I
really
was gonna
good
say.
stuff coming up for 2025.
Well,
Number
before we get
one.
into that,
Oh,
hold on. Before we
okay.
get into that, is there anything that you want to reflect on for 2024 personally, like
Mm,
with you, like growth and evolution and all of those fun things?
okay. I would. One thing that I would like to share of my growth for 2024, I think that I have come to a point where it's a difference between being patient and not taking action. And I've been being more mindful of taking action instead of just waiting so long to do things. Sometimes that was something that I feel that I've done in the past. Now I'm just kind of like, you know what, pull the trigger and just
Live with whatever
live with
happens.
whatever happens. And a lot of times that is honestly the best thing that I could have done, because you can't assess a situation if you haven't done anything. You just got to do something. You just got to make it happen. So that's big. Obviously this year was the first year of the podcast, and that's been amazing, just sharing more of my point of view with my sister, with everybody, and sharing her point of view, which I really did this so you would see how funny and dope she is. Like, I
Because
like
leave
being
it to me,
behind the
I'd have been
scenes.
like, you got to know me to know me.
Well, I like being behind the scenes, but I knew that me being behind the scenes wasn't gonna make this happen, so I was gonna have to show my face too, and hopefully I have shared some dope insights and wisdom with you guys throughout this journey, and I want to share more with you. That's what I look forward to, and that's what I'm proud of this year so far, which really so far is the wrap. So what I'm proud of this year. What about you?
um, well. This year was a very eventful year for me. I have essentially transitioned into a whole new person. I have a new name and everything. It's wild out here, but still practicing the signature. But anyway, so
Do a big
I've
W.
definitely, I,
W.
so this has definitely been a year of growth. Like I mentioned earlier, I went from Miss to Mrs. And like that came with, just losing people to a degree that I didn't expect to happen when that occurred. So, just kind of navigating that, but then also just kind of growing into this new space of where I am now, this little cute little cocoon that we're in. So, and then like even outside of that, because I'm still uh, me, I'm still an individual person, regardless of whose last name I have. I have just been more intentional on I guess just like certain goals that I have and things that I'm trying to accomplish. um I used to have this nasty habit of just quitting things when it got hard. And a few years ago, I was very intentional on not doing that, but it was for like the big stuff, like don't quit school until you accomplish the degree, and don't quit. But like now, it's like things that I want to accomplish. Like I already got the job, I already got the career, but things that I want to accomplish on the side, I would kind of quit or leave alone because I'm like, I don't want to do this, and I already got this, so I don't need to put myself through this. And now I'm kind of challenging myself to be like, do it anyway. Because if you really want this, or if you really want your life to be this way, then you gotta
These
lock
are the
in.
things you got to do, yeah. Because
Right. And I I kind of use I started to just be intentional about like, if this is what you really want to do, then it's not about how you feel and whether or not you want to do it. And like a perfect example of that, one is working out, and I've chunked up, but I'm still working out. I promise. I'm just chunking up regardless, but that's neither here nor there. But I have I've been more conscious of being consistent with working out. And I used to kind of lie to myself, but like, yeah, I like to work out. Like, no, I don't. If I could be one of those people that could eat whatever I want and not work out and still be a size 8, I would do it every day, all day. That's not my life. And that's why I work out, so that I don't blow up like Rasputia or something crazy. But when I have these moments where I don't want to do it or this and that, then I start thinking about like, you know what? I don't like doing laundry, but I need clean clothes. Like it's plenty of other things that I don't want to do, but it needs to get done in order for things to go as they're supposed to go. So I'm using that as it pertains to working out. I'm using it as it pertains to other things that I'm trying to accomplish. Like F your feelings when it comes to like things that you're trying to accomplish. Now, don't wear yourself out. Don't run yourself into the ground. But understand when you're coming from a place of I'm truly exhausted, or just like I don't feel like it because I'd rather sit here and watch Netflix. Like no. And if you're gonna do that, then understand the consequences of that 3 years from now when you're still not where you want to be. So I will say that's kind of where I have kind of evolved from
yeah.
January 1st to this point. And we still got more work to do.
Oh, trust. I mean, I kind of challenge myself with them same type of things, but again, like you said, there's more work to do, and just got to keep chipping away at those habits that, keep us from getting on the other side of where we're trying to get to, which segues into what I want to talk about to end this episode, which
Yes.
is upcoming things. So, 2025 is going to be a big year for Culture Foolishness and Exodus Studios, Architects of Mars. I don't know what you got planned for your personal brand, but I know I got a lot planned for mine and our joint brand, which is Culture Foolishness. We got a lot planned for that. Like, definitely, we're gonna bring some interviews in next year.
Mm-hmm.
Um, some different format changes that you will be surprised to see. I'm not gonna give too much
Not gonna spoil nothing.
spoil it, but it will be fun. And different segments with different guest hosts I got lined up too, because Coach Tamara Simone is a busy lady. Sometimes we're gonna let her get a break and bring some other people in, but it's still gonna be some fun content. So 2025 is gonna be fun. I wish everybody as much success and joy and love as they deserve. And I wish that for myself as well. And my beautiful sister, I wish that for her as well. And
Yes, indeed. And you know what?
I,
We just gonna claim it. We just gonna claim that 2025 is gonna be a year where we catching these flights more often. We enjoying
yes,
life.
yes,
And you know what I'm saying, if this inflation is continues to be ridiculous, that we are gonna be provided with the resources to sustain it.
yep,
Um
yes, indeed.
and all of the things that we are looking to accomplish, if we don't make it happen, we are gonna be literally on a trajectory of making it happen. So that's definitely what we're gonna, claim. And I know it's gonna happen for sure. And in the midst of all of that, then the culture is gonna continue to be foolish, and we will continue to report from
Yes,
these
we will.
internet streets.
Yes, we
Because if
will.
you think that niggas gonna stop nigging in 2025, then you are not aware of how long niggas been nigging.
Oh boy, and we got all races of nigging to happen for 2025 because we got Trump. We gonna have a whole lot of shit to talk about with
Antics.
his antics and foolishness. Is you gotta just say it because that's what it's
Yeah.
gonna be. So, on that note, we will see y'all in 2025. Holla at your boy. Holla at you.
Coach Tamara Simone.
All right, you did not play along with me, but
I
whatever.
didn't.
It's
I
fine.
didn't
It's
know what that was
okay.
about. I didn't know what
It's
that was about.
fine.
In 2025, we're gonna get more in sync with that. But yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, that's the perfect ending. So I am Creed of Exodus Studios, Architects of Mars.com, and my co-host is
Coach Tamara Simone, y'all. Coach Tamara Simone.
Peace, Peace. And this episode was brought to you by Architects of Mars. As per usual, go to architectsofmars.com. And I will see you next year. Peace, peace.